All right, to this, a suggestion via a channel member. The name of the video is Celebrities Shutting Down Agenda-Driven Interviewers. This is coming from the channel. Heavy? All right, let's check it out.
In a world where interviewers often push their own agendas, some Hollywood stars refuse to play along. These are the moments where celebrities completely shut down loaded questions from reporters, like the time Jerry Seinfeld was criticized for the lack of racial diversity on his show.
I have noticed that most of the guests are mostly white males.
Oh, this really pisses me off, but go ahead. Really pisses me off.
A visibly irritated Seinfeld initially tried to address the question with humor, but grew more intense as he went on.
Take a look over here, Peter. What do you see? A lot of whiteys. What's going on here? People think it's the census or something? I mean, this has got to represent the actual pie chart of America. Who cares?
Seinfeld didn't.
The interesting thing about that part here, guys, now keep this in mind here. In New York is a very super diverse city. This is where the Seinfeld was basically emulating, let's say. And friend groups generally, and they tend to look like what you are, right? We are still kind of very much so cliquey. Okay, so that absolutely was believable. Okay, it was very believable, even in New York, a super diverse city, bro. It's incredibly believable. But let's continue.
Didn't hold back, shutting down the accusation and making it clear that the only thing that matters is whether or not a comedian is funny.
And I have no interest in gender or race or anything like that, but everyone else is kind of with their little calculating, is this the exact right mix? You know, I think that's,
ridiculous.
To me, it's anti-comedy.
But Samuel L. Jackson took things to another level, getting even more confrontational when called out for the language he used in Django Unchained.
Okay, there's been a lot of controversy
I've seen this
surrounding the usage of the N-word in this
Say
movie.
it.
And
No, nobody, none.
Never.
The word would be,
Nincompoop?
say it.
why not?
I don't
Why
want
not?
to say it.
Say it.
Have you ever said it?
No, sir.
Try it.
I don't
Please.
want to say
Try
Say
it.
it.
Really? Seriously?
We're not going to have this conversation unless you say it.
The unsuspecting reporter clearly wasn't ready for Jackson to flip the script, and it showed.
You want to move on to another question?
Okay. Awesome.
Right.
I don't want to say
Oh,
it.
come on.
Will you say it?
No. That's not the same thing.
Say it.
Why do you want me to
They're
say
going to bleep it when you say it
I
on
know,
your
but-
show. Say it.
I can't say it. If I say it, this question it won't make air.
Okay, forget it.
And while Jackson took a bold approach, Denzel Washington is known for his calm and composed takedowns. When asked about race relations, Denzel's response was both insightful and unforgettable.
Have race relations improved?
You know, race relationships have to do with race relationships. You're white or whatever you are, I'm black or whatever I am. We're standing here talking now. That's how we get things done. You can't legislate love. The President of the United States can't legislate us into liking each other.
Right.
We have.
And guys, that's kind of my main issue with the current left, I would say personally. Like whenever they force something down your throat, it's not really being very helpful to anyone, not even the group you're trying to promote today. It's not helpful, bro, okay? If it's not a gigantic group and it's not getting enough people kind of, swarming around the group, then how can you expect for there to be any type of relations between insert, sub-niche, genre of human today, guys?
Have to step forward and ask questions about each other and engage. There's no law that says, oh, because I'm president, you all got to get along now. So it's up to us.
However, this wasn't the first time Denzel Washington had set the record straight with reporters on matters of race.
So why did he need a black director? Could a white director not have?
It's not
produced this
color,
work?
it's culture.
Explain the difference, because I think we're in
Steven
a space
Spielberg
right
did Schindler's List. Martin Scorsese did Goodfellas, right? Steven Spielberg could direct Goodfellas.
Yeah.
Martin Scorsese probably could have done a good job with Schindler's List, but there are cultural differences.
Much like Denzel, Morgan Freeman masterfully addressed a racially charged question with intelligence.
That was the hot comb interview that Denzel did.
Just listen to his response when CNN's Don Lemon questioned him about race and wealth.
Do you think that race plays a part in wealth distribution, or either a mindset that you can't or cannot? Yeah.
No.
No.
You don't?
No.
No.
You and I, we're proof.
Right.
Why would race have anything to do with it? Put your mind to what you want to do and go for that.
But Freeman's most iconic moment came during a 60 Minutes interview when he completely dismantled the concept of separating Black history from American history.
Black History Month, you find
ridiculous.
It's American history.
You're going to relegate my history to a month?
Oh, come on.
What do you do with yours? Which month is White History Month? Well, come on, tell me.
Well, I'm Jewish.
Okay.
Okay. Which month is Jewish History Month?
There isn't one.
Oh. Why not?
Yeah.
You want one?
No.
I don't either.
Right.
Freeman then left the interviewer speak.
I'm going to be honest here, guys. It feels like I should be looking at a little bit more of what Morgan Freeman kind of speaks about because, yeah, they're definitely insightful. A lot of the people who I encounter on like a daily basis, they're all different types of skin tone. What I do notice is that culturally, they have the same overall overarching modern day contemporary culture, let's say. They may have come from somewhere else, at some time in their life, but currently they have the same exact culture. And for some reason, they all are generally excessively well off, owning multiple pieces of property, owning multiple companies. We have S-corp type of conversations. You get what I mean? Like all of these things that are like financial literacy type of conversations, they have all types of skin tones, guys. It is not so much about the skin tone any longer at all. If that is your main point, like that you're trying to basically say, oh, I can't do this because of my skin tone. What are you talking about? I know a lot of people who are impoverished who are of European descent. I know a lot of people who are impoverished and they are of Black American descent, let's say. Right? It's like, it is what it is, guys. It comes down to either you have the drive to succeed or you do not. If you have the overall financial literacy to succeed or you do not. It has not so much to do with the color of your skin anymore, because again, I know a lot of like Black American millionaires, a lot of them. And the majority of the people who I encounter throughout my actual day outside of YouTube, they all have money. And a good amount of them are Black, because I'm in the Atlanta area. Right? But all right.
Speechless when he offered his straightforward response that destroyed the reporter's hidden agenda.
I don't want a Black History Month. Black history is American history.
It is American history.
How are we going to get rid of racism?
Stop talking about it. I'm going to stop calling you a white man.
Bars.
And I'm going to ask you to stop calling me a Black man.
Comedian Bill Burr, however, takes a completely different approach, ditching calm logic and coming out swinging against loaded questions.
Can women be funny?
Yeah, of course.
Some people have a hard time saying yes, though. There's a lot of angry young men on the internet that are like...
He didn't say yes, he said of course, but I also would... Who's the funniest... Guys, in the comments, who is the funniest woman comedian that you have ever heard? Because I think I need to definitely check them out. Okay, but just let's move on for now, though.
Some people have a hard time saying yes, though. There's a lot of angry young men on the internet that are like, women can't be fun.
Will you guys just grow up and just sit down and write your own and come up with it? Start your own show. Have your own award show. Quit waiting around for other people to do for you. That's the problem. If you guys had your own big club and I was standing outside of it, you'd never let me in. I'd start my own. You guys got to start your own. You got brains in there, right?
Yes, absolutely.
So write your own and quit your whining. We're all eating a giant sandwich out here. Nobody cares. I don't care.
Nobody cares.
As the conversation escalated, Burr made it clear that he wasn't done calling out the question's agenda.
It makes no difference whether you got a dick or a... All right? Just do what you want to do, and hopefully people respond to it. But this the quotas and all of this become undeniable.
Taking a more measured approach, Matthew McConaughey skillfully deflected a blatant attempt to trap him with a loaded question, delivering an epic response that left no doubt he was in control.
In 2021, you considered to run for governor of the state of Texas. Do you think political office is in your future? Can you see that?
If it's where I would deem myself to be most useful,
Yeah.
yes.
Do you think you would get elected in Texas being anti-gun?
Do I think I could get elected in Texas being anti-gun? One thing about if me in politics is to give you a direct statement right there is playing a game that I'm not interested in playing. To give you a direct statement right there.
But not every celebrity keeps it as collected as McConaughey. Rapper Lil Wayne's response to a loaded question took a very different turn. It all started with Wayne's comments in this controversial Fox Sports interview.
Where are we in the United States of America in race relations and what you see from day to day in your life?
God knows I have been nothing but blessed. My whole path, these 33 years have been nothing but a blessing. I have never, never is a strong word, I've never dealt with racism, and I'm glad I didn't have to. I thought that was clearly a message that there was no such thing as racism. That's what I thought that was.
Following public backlash, Wayne was asked if he had any regrets about what he said. With his unapologetic and fiery response.
Like, that's his lived experience, and that's the thing. I think for some reason people tend to believe that because you have the skin tone of him or I, you had to have experienced like absolute trauma in your life and things like that. Guys, I have experienced so much more of what he's talking about that he's never experienced. Kind of outside of the United States of America. Definitely, because I've been traveling the world since I was 20, bro, right? And so the thing is, I've experienced a lot of that, right? If you want to talk about actual versions of that, where you're told you can't go into a restaurant, and it's just like, what do you mean? I'm confused. Then they realize you're American, and then they're just like, oh, no, please sit in front here. That type of thing. But either way, let's continue.
Response, making it clear that he wasn't backing down.
There was a lot of backlash from people about that. Would you change it, what you said, or you still feel the same way?
As the interview reached its boiling point, what Wayne did next made headlines everywhere.
Don't come at me with that dumb man. My life matters.
He ended our interview angrily.
That was the Black Lives Matter interview.
Is in the business of making music, not apologies.
And speaking of fiery responses, UFC middleweight champion Sean Strickland wasn't afraid to...
Oh, this guy's wild. I don't even know what he said. I don't know what interview we're about to check out, guys, but this guy is absolutely wild. So just be prepared for that.
Call out a reporter for asking politically charged questions during a press conference.
And people like you have weaseled your way.
Bro, read his shirt. Read his shirt. He's wild, bro. All right. I think that's just his personality, but guys, I mean, he's using his First Amendment right in the correct way. He doesn't care. He's unapologetically him. Agree or disagree with a lot of his statements here, guys, but this man is wild.
In the world, you are an infection. You are the definition of weakness. Everything that is wrong with the world is because of. And the best thing is the world's not buying it. The world's not buying your you're peddling. The world is not saying, you know what, you're right. Chicks have. The world's not saying that. The world's saying, no, there are two genders. I don't want my kids being taught about, who they could school. I don't want my kids being taught about, their sexual preference. Like, dude, this guy's enemy. You want to look at enemy to our world? It's that right there, asking these stupid questions.
So we're this interview. Okay, this interview wasn't terrible at all. This was fine.
Moment went viral, sparking a follow-up question to UFC CEO Dana White, whose no-nonsense response made it clear he wasn't interested in agenda-driven narratives either.
You obviously give a long leash to your fighters about, what they can say when they are up there with a UFC microphone.
I don't give anybody a leash.
Well, I'm saying you...
A leash?
I'm
free speech. I control what people say. Gonna tell people what to believe. Gonna tell people. I don't tell any other human being what to say, what to think, and there's no leashes on any of them.
Right. Agree or
What is your
disagree?
question?
I was asking that question. I'll move on though.
Yeah, probably a good
let's move
idea. That's ridiculous to say I give somebody a leash. Free speech, brother. People can say whatever they want and they can believe whatever they want.
Ronda Rousey delivered an equivalently confident takedown when a reporter cornered her with a question about women's pay disputes in sports.
We've got quite a large pay dispute happening with our Australian.
I hear an Australian accent. Oh God, guys. Listen, I am sorry for you guys in Australia. Bro. I apologize in advance. Although the amount of craziness that I have seen from Australia is wild. Sometimes I think like the United States of America and like the overall West in general is terrible when it comes to this type of ideology, specifically what she's about to say here, what it sounds like. But I think Australia may be the worst, guys. It may be the worst. I would suggest every single man to leave that country immediately. Let him have it, bro. Trust me, just let him have it.
Disputes in sports.
We've got quite a large pay dispute happening with our Australian women's soccer team at the moment. Is it frustrating for you as someone who's so prominent in your sport? And we heard you say on the Ellen show the other day you are the richest fighter in UFC, that sort of thing is still going on?
I think that how much you get paid should have something to do with how much money you bring in.
Yep.
I'm the highest paid fighter, not because Dina and Lorenzo wanted to do something nice for the ladies. They do it because I bring in the highest numbers. They do it because I make them the most money. And I think that the money that they make should be proportionate to the money that they bring in.
Actor Kurt Russell,
the WNBA and the NBA. Okay.
would similarly shut down the hosts of The View after they asked him a particularly loaded question on the topic of gun control.
Recently, you made some headlines for saying that you felt gun control laws wouldn't deter terrorists.
They wouldn't.
Explain to folks.
Well, you know, these are these things where, first of all, I was in a situation, we do what we call the dog and pony.
Right.
We're out doing the dog and pony selling a picture. And you get sometimes you get what you feel is slightly ambushed by somebody who's really got an agenda. And that's sort of, I think, that's my opinion of what happened to me the other day.
Recognizing the bias behind the question, Russell made sure to make his stance known with a sharp and unapologetic response.
The last thing I like to watch is entertainers or actors get political. It's just something I can't stand watching. So having said that, no, I was kind of asked to put it in context somehow with this movie. You know, my personal feeling is that there's a big difference between Fantasyland and reality. Fantasyland is what we do. You're either writing something, writing a song, writing a book, doing a movie, doing a television show. That's Fantasyland. And that's where that stuff belongs. In reality, when we're dealing with things like terrorism and whatnot, we're all going to have different opinions on how to do it and how to deal with it. Mine,
bro, look at all of their faces. Okay, look at their faces.
Happens to be that I think there's a very strong reason founding fathers had for the Second Amendment.
Tim Allen, meanwhile, took a lighter but equally effective approach when asked about political correctness in comedy, making it clear that he doesn't want the media policing his jokes.
What I got to do sometimes is explain, which I hate in big arenas, that this is a thought police thing and I do not like it. But when I use these words, this is my intent behind those words.
Yeah. Wow.
So as long as you understand my intent, I still get people,
but just don't say it.
I do use some provocative words, but I tell them it's words that really got from my parents.
Yeah.
You know, they said this stuff, and we talked about it. I can't even say it here. I can't even point to it.
Yeah.
It is an alarming thing for comedians.
Yeah. Wow.
You know, even if you go watch the movie Blazing Saddles.
Oh my God, forget
you
it.
can't even watch that without looking around in your own room.
But it was...
I saw Blazing Saddles for the first time recently. Brilliant. Bring it back.
Kanye West, who took things to another level, meeting a loaded question with raw honesty. His response, as expected, was nothing short of polarizing.
Are you afraid of losing your audience? Yeah.
I told you I'm only afraid of God. I'm only afraid of my daddy, God. I done been 15 years. I'm telling you, God is showing that you can have your own thoughts, bro. I've been canceled before there was cancel culture. Who told you that my career would be over? The same people that are telling you that you can't have a right to say who you will vote for, might think they so woke, but they following the rules of what woke's supposed to be.
In a world...
Listen, I get it. There are a lot of people who just strongly detest Kanye West, right? There are. They're generally, there are. Because, I don't know, bro. I still like his shoes. I like his first album, College Dropout. And like, I don't know, like I still have like a lot of, I don't know, guys. I don't really have a problem with Kanye West. I don't really do. I don't know if that's terrible or not, but I just don't really have a problem. Like, listen, his opinions have nothing to do with me. And that's just kind of how I am, bro. They have nothing to do with me at all. Life, I guess, right? The only problem that I generally will have if you start messing with people's kids, bro. Like the minute you start messing with people's kids, bro, it is no holds bars on you, bro. Okay. But anyway, listen, you guys all have an absolutely amazing day. Let me know in the comments what you guys think, and I'll catch you guys later. This is my lightsaber. Hey guys, you guys subscribe to the other channels? Logical Movie Reviews with Mr. L. Boyd, along with Mr. L. Boyd Music. Oh, also, Mr. L. Boyd Discusses. Guys, check it out. And if you haven't heard it today, you're amazing.